Connecticut State Police Western District Major Crime Squad was requested to look into the investigation of the disappearance of Jennifer Dulos.
She was the most incredible mom. Very loyal, a very good person.
It was highly out of order for her not to be in contact with her kids.
We all knew that something was terribly wrong.
It's a missing person case that evolved into a criminal investigation.
We may never know what happened to Jennifer Dulos. He also had a female companion with him. She's the fall person now that he is gone.
Can I just cut to the chase here? Do you know where she is, and can you please tell us? We need to find Jennifer.
Connecticut's Gold Coast. It's just 1 hour northeast of New York City, and lined with parks full of lush greenery, multi-million-dollar mansions of wealthy business executives, and old family money. Just 15 minutes from the capital city of Hartford is Farmington, Connecticut, the upscale enclave where Jennifer and Fotis Dulos live with their 5 children.
Jennifer always wanted to have a family. She loved the idea of living in a beautiful suburb somewhere with a green lawn, and she would even have joked about a white picket fence. The life in Connecticut was very much part of that vision, and I think she felt really ecstatic that what she'd envisioned for herself and her hypothetical kids and family had actually become a reality. They had met back at Boston College when she was in school and he was also in school. He was born in Turkey and he was raised in Greece, but he had come to the United States, getting his education, going on to get his master's degree. She did graduate from Boston College and then went on for her master's degree in New York City at NYU. I met Jennifer in the fall of 1990. We were both incoming graduate students in the graduate dramatic writing program at NYU. Jennifer and I just connected, I think first just over our mutual senses of humor. We shared a love of literature.
Literature and writing were Jennifer Dulos' first loves, until she crossed paths with Fotis Dulos again years later, and the couple married and started a family.
I think that was an aspect of re-meeting Fotis, entering a relationship with him that was so incredibly exciting for her. A lot of people who were quite close to Jennifer found the speed of her relationship with Fotis, the speed with which they got married, just out of character for her, because she was always a very measured person. Once they married, they had 5 children altogether, 2 sets of twins. And although she was an exquisite writer, she really devoted herself to her children, her beautiful family. She was periodically working on some pieces, a blog on the Patch platform, but obviously raising 5 kids is incredibly all-consuming. I think she had to put the sense of her daily mission as a writer to the side.
In 2004, Fotis Dulos founded a custom home building company, 4 Group.
They would purchase properties in the Connecticut area, fix them up, and resell them. Jennifer Dulos came from a family of great wealth. Her father was a very successful banker. Her mom is Gloria and her dad is Hilliard Hill. And Hill and Gloria clearly wanted to support Jennifer in her relationship. They took at face value, Fotis's professions of love and commitment to Jennifer and to them, and so wanted to support him in his ventures because, they viewed them as Jennifer's ventures as well. It seemed as though everything was really almost magically falling into place.
But the Dulos relationship was anything but. A 13-year storybook marriage.
I think that there was always an unhealthy dynamic at play in their relationship where he was the one in control. And because Jennifer was resilient and also very concerned with maintaining a low conflict, pleasant environment for her kids, that she ended up bearing the brunt of whatever it was he needed to get off his chest. She learned how to think around corners and how to walk on eggshells. That said, I think the fear is always there because sometimes you can't predict what's going to set somebody off.
Fotis Doulos spent years as a competitive professional water skier and placed several of their children in the sport as well. He eventually met another competitive skier, a single mom named Michelle Triconis.
Michelle Triconis was from South America. She had graduated from the university in Venezuela, and then she had gone on to be an entrepreneur herself. She had a daughter from a prior relationship, but she ultimately came to the United States and on the East Coast.
They met at an event in the Miami area where the kids were going water skiing, and Michelle was either also competing or she was officiating.
Jennifer Doulos finds out Fotis Doulos and Michelle Triconis have begun an affair.
I think that she may have intuited that his emotional energies were being directed elsewhere.
According to not only Michelle, but her entire family, the members that lived in Miami who also met him, he told them that he was going through a divorce and that it was amicable.
I guess officially Jennifer learned about the long-time affair in March of 2017, and then about a month later she got some more details, and for her that kind of betrayal certainly was a deal breaker. Jennifer proposed that they separate and that they get a divorce, and Fotis did not want to agree to that. That's when she knew that she had to develop a safe plan, because it was clear to her that he was not receptive to a sort of mutually agreed upon plan to separate and divorce. He was not going to agree to that.
Jennifer secretly moved out with the children.
She specifically chose New Canaan so that she wasn't taking the kids out of state.
There was a time when the children were going back and forth between Farmington and New Canaan, and at some point, Fotis invited Michelle to move up with her daughter.
The estranged couple began a lengthy court battle and a fight for custody of their children, which reveal allegations by Jennifer Doulos of abuse.
A story of emotional abuse, a story of fear, a story of abuse toward the children emotionally.
There were a few different instances of Fotis's acting in ways that really frightened Jennifer. Also, in this period of a couple months, he acquired a gun. Jennifer and Fotis had discussed before they ever had children that they were never going to have a gun in the household.
In court documents, Jennifer alleged she's afraid of her estranged husband, scared that divorcing him will enrage him, and cause him to, quote, harm me in some way.
I can say confidently that we were all very frightened on her behalf and on behalf of the kids. Fotis had threatened a few times to leave her and take the kids.
Fotis Doulos filed court motions of his own in which he denied the allegations of abuse, threats, or that he bought an illegal handgun. He also accused Jennifer of taking the kids and leaving the family home without warning.
I can certainly say that in no way did he try to make this amicable. He was obstructionist every step of the way.
It's a 2-year court battle, and Jennifer ultimately retains sole physical custody of their children, ages 8 to 13.
Fotis disregarded court orders from the get-go, and that's why he lost custody of the children.
I just want to say that I love my children. I miss them. I think about them all the time. That's all.
He was not allowed even supervised visitation for more than a year, and that was all through his own behavior.
But in May of 2019, everything changes.
It was to be a seemingly normal day for Jennifer Dulos. As a very devoted mother, priority were her children, and so she took them to school in the morning. It was about 8 o'clock. And from that point on, she was going to come to New York City for some doctor's appointments. She never made it to those doctor's appointments.
It was highly out of order for her not to be in contact with certain people in her life, and specifically her kids, and she missed appointments out of the area, and she was just not able to be connected with.
On May 24th, I received a text from Jennifer's babysitter, Lauren, asking whether I had heard from Jennifer that day. And I hadn't, but just even the tone of Lauren's outreach gave me the feeling that something was wrong. So immediately I texted both numbers I had of Jennifer's. She had 2 phones. And I didn't hear back from her. I left her messages. I didn't hear back. And I, now know that at the same time there were at least 4 of us trying to reach her, and nobody could.
Right around 7 p.m. that evening, we got a call our dispatch center about some concerns people acquainted with her had about her not being available or able to connect with her. Subsequently, we started an investigation. We dispatched our patrol officers. They went to her house. At some point, as they were digging in and looking around, trying to find evidence that she might be there or where she might have gone, they saw some things in the garage. Investigator highlighted in that when he arrived that were very suspicious.
Authorities put out a statewide alert.
Sometime late in the evening, a Farmington, Connecticut police officer came to the door at Jefferson Crossing and told Fotis Dulos that his wife was reported missing.
Back at Jennifer's home, police find evidence that the mother of 5's disappearance could be more than just a missing persons case.
They went into the garage and they were shocked at what they found.
And just 3 miles from her home, police make another shocking discovery.
I think all the investigators realized that was a critical part of the investigation.
An alert goes out in Connecticut for missing mother of 5, Jennifer Dulos. Police search her New Canaan home.
There's a 3-bay garage. The left bay was empty, and we learned later that's where typically Jennifer would park her car. The middle bay, a Range Rover was parked there, and the other bay just had storage and some other things in it.
They went into the garage and they were shocked at what they found, because they found a substance on the floor of that garage that they believed was blood.
I actually responded to the scene. I saw the same things they did, and it was evidence of some kind of cleanup in the garage. There was some splatter on the vehicle, which was suspicious, and some other little indicators in the garage that kind of raised everybody's awareness, led me to believe that we had something significantly more than merely a missing person.
Just 3 miles from Jennifer's New Canaan home, police make another key discovery in their search.
Not only was Jennifer Dulos missing, but her vehicle, her 2017 black Chevy Suburban that she had taken her children to school in on that very morning, was missing.
They found it about an hour after she was reported missing near one of our large parks called Waveney Park. It was parked on a road that parallels the park.
It had been abandoned. There appeared to be what they thought was blood in and on that vehicle.
It was found in a condition where the gear shift lever was in reverse and some lights were left on in the vehicle, which seemed unusual. It seemed like whoever was driving the vehicle was in a hurry and wasn't as careful or thoughtful as normally someone is when they park their vehicle.
Law enforcement find blood evidence at Jennifer's home and her missing Chevy Suburban. But the question remains, where is Jennifer?
I think those all culminated to the point where everybody realized that she was truly missing, and that's why that kind of elevated to a criminal investigation.
The fact that Lauren wasn't able to reach her, and then as we quickly learned that she had missed 2 doctor's appointments, was completely out of character. That was more than enough information that something had gone terribly wrong.
The New Canaan Police Department had contacted Fotis Doulos to tell him and apprise him that his estranged wife Jennifer was missing. They asked him to come down to the police station. So he did.
Given the facts and circumstances of what we started determining early on, I'd say he was at the top of the list of a person that needed to be vetted.
He went to the New Canaan Police Department along with his attorney, and he had his cell phone with him.
He agreed to come early in the morning on the 25th, was late several hours, ultimately showed up with an attorney. At some point of the interaction became uncooperative.
His attorney said that Mr. Doulos would not be helping them at all in their missing persons investigation. He would not be giving a statement. So almost as soon as he and his attorney arrived, they left the police department. And from every document that has come out from the investigation, Fotis Doulos never helped the investigation as to what happened to his missing wife.
He just didn't give us the level of cooperativeness that you would expect.
But he did give police one great gift. They asked him if they could have his cell phone, and he said yes. And then they asked him for the password to get into it, and he actually did give it to them.
In this case, it was seized because it was certainly evidentiary, and then subsequently a search warrant was signed off by a judge. That was allowed us to search the phone.
And they found out that the night that Jennifer had gone missing, that Fotis Doulos' phone was in the vicinity of Hartford, Connecticut on Albany Avenue.
Which leads Hartford police to begin pulling hours of local surveillance video.
They saw a black pickup matching the description of Fotis' vehicle, with a male coming out with black trash bags, depositing trash bags in the trash receptacles, one after the other.
But the surveillance video also shows Fotis Doulos is not alone.
He also had a female companion with him.
Residents of Connecticut's wealthy towns, New Canaan and Farmington, are stunned at the news a mother of 5 has gone missing.
It was highly out of order for her not to be in contact with certain people in her life, and specifically her kids.
According to court documents, residential security cameras have captured Jennifer's Chevy Suburban heading eastbound towards her home after dropping off her children, ages 8 to 13, at school. Cell phone evidence and surveillance video place Fotis Doulos in Hartford, Connecticut on the evening of May 24th. He's driving a 2014 Ford F-150 Raptor, a truck registered to his company, the Ford Group. And he's not alone.
He also had a female companion with him that later matched the description of Doulos' girlfriend, Michelle Troconis.
Doulos is captured on surveillance cameras dumping several black garbage bags at various trash bins all along Albany Avenue.
And I think that became apparent pretty early, specifically when the video was gathered from Hartford and it showed Fotis and Michelle in the vehicle leaving garbage bags.
She does not get out of that cab. And he takes a couple of black trash bags, puts them into a receptacle, And as everyone has now seen on video, he takes a rolled up, looks like a carpet, it could be a rear cargo cover, I don't know, and he sticks it next to a building and then continues on.
There was also a point where they saw that this man, who at that point even matched the description of Fotis Doulos, get out of the pickup with a box. He opened a storm drain, put the box in it, and closed it back up.
Surveillance video and the search for the mystery trash bags lead police to stunning new evidence.
All the little pieces started getting put together by way of technology and video evidence.
Police were able to go back to that scene immediately and get those trash bags. And what they found in those bags...
It's a discovery that begins to paint a grim picture. A normal day of morning school drop-off and doctor's appointments becomes anything but routine when mother of 5 Jennifer Doulos vanishes.
Very quickly, we all knew that something was terribly wrong.
Once the major crime squad arrived, they started processing and analyzing what was there at the house, and that ultimately culminated into a long, complex investigation.
Surveillance video and dumpster searches provide key leads to investigators.
Police were able to go back to that scene immediately and get those trash bags. And what they found in those bags: clothes, a sponge.
According to a police affidavit, detectives also find plastic zip ties, undergarments, household items, trash, and a suspicious substance.
But more than anything, they found what they believed was blood. It was forensically examined. It was determined to be the blood of Jennifer Doulos. And as far as that storm drain, they went into that storm drain. They found a FedEx box. It was opened. There were 2 license plates in it that had been altered with tape. But they determined that those license plates had belonged to previous vehicles of Fotis Doulos.
Just 2 hours and 20 minutes after the last known image of Jennifer Doulos, surveillance images show her Chevy Suburban leaving her residence at 10:25 a.m. According to police, cell phone data shows her phone moving from her house to the park where her SUV is found abandoned. Surveillance video also captures another vehicle, a red 2001 Toyota Tacoma belonging to one of Fotis Doulos' employees.
The project manager would bring his own truck to the business, which was in a home, and he would leave it there, and he would take one of the business vehicles to the job site to work on the homes, and he would leave his keys at the business. That allowed those keys and the vehicle of the property manager to virtually be used by anyone. But the property manager had an alibi. He was at a home working on it that day. He wasn't in his own truck.
According to a police affidavit, the Tacoma is seen driving between the hours of 6:36 a.m. and 7:03 a.m. along Connecticut's Merritt Parkway. By 7:40 a.m., the truck is stopped near the same park where Jennifer's SUV is found.
It was determined that it was that vehicle, the vehicle of the property manager, that was used to drive to the outskirts of Jennifer Doulos' home.
At 11:12 a.m., the Toyota shows up on surveillance again, driving until 12:22 p.m., when it arrives at a massive residential property, a 10,000 square foot mansion on Mountain Spring Road, being renovated and sold by the Ford Group. In several voluntary interviews with detectives, the project manager said Fotis Doulos tried to offer him a different vehicle to drive home.
When Fotis Doulos handed him the keys, and he told him, look, we can keep it, you go home in the project vehicle. He said, no, I want my own vehicle.
On the morning of May 29th, police say surveillance video shows Fotis Doulos pull into Russell Speeder's car wash, driving the Toyota Tacoma. And inside, he fills out a log sheet to have that truck cleaned. According to a police affidavit, phone records place girlfriend Michelle Troconis in the area of Russell Speeder's parking lot in Avon, Connecticut.
She didn't go to any car wash to wash a Jeep.
Michelle Troconis followed behind in another vehicle, and surveillance video shows this.
He went, and she picked him up, and they went right to her lawyer's office, literally right from the Avon car wash.
More than 5 hours later, the couple returns and Fotis goes inside and pays $250 cash. Back at the Ford Group office, the project manager walked up to his Tacoma truck to find it professionally washed and detailed. The project manager also tells detectives about a conversation involving car seats.
But Fotis Doulos said to him, you need to get rid of those front seats you have. Get rid of them. Throw them away and get rid of them. I've got some Porsche seats. You can put those in. He said, what's up with my vehicle? Why are you saying this? And Doulos gave him a very strange answer, he told police. He said that on Mother's Day, that he was around, Jennifer gave her a hug, and he thinks one of his hairs landed on her, and he was concerned. So just get rid of the seats in the car. But the project manager said, I kept the seats. I kept the original seats that were in the car.
It's also revealed to police cleaning was taking place at the Mountain Spring mansion owned by Ford Group the day Jennifer Doulos goes missing.
There was a showing the next day. That's been confirmed through a realtor that a couple that wanted to buy one of the properties on Mountain Spring Road and were coming the next morning wanted to see what kind of work that Fotis Doulos did. So it was more a matter of just doing a little dusting, cleaning up. He basically enlisted Michelle, come on over, bring some supplies from the house so that it'll look nice. And he was outside, she was inside cleaning up a few items. It's not like she was cleaning an entire house. I mean, even the Mountain Spring house is pretty large.
According to a police affidavit, there was another cleanup at the Mountain Spring property, inside the Toyota Tacoma.
Michelle Troconis was there, and he gave her a rag or a paper towel that he had been using to clean the seats and had her put it in a black trash bag. She asked him what it was, or he told her that he was cleaning up some coffee. Investigators said, did it smell like coffee? And she said, no, it didn't smell like coffee. And she said, I wasn't cleaning Jennifer. The police took those seats, had them processed with a warrant, and lo and behold, they found blood confirmed to be Jennifer Doulos.
A slew of forensic evidence leads investigators to seek arrest warrants. And police interrogation video blows the case wide open.
So if you know stuff that you're not telling us, that's the man you're protecting, because that's the sick
Just 8 days after Connecticut mother of 5 Jennifer Doulos goes missing, police arrest estranged husband Fotis Doulos and his girlfriend Michelle Troconis. Charged with tampering and hindering prosecution, they both pleaded not guilty.
They arrested her late at night, drove her down to New Canaan when the allegation against her was that she was accused of helping to get rid of bags in Hartford.
According to police, after several failed attempts to interview her, Michelle Troconis sits down with investigators while she's in custody.
So she wasn't missing in action. She was not refusing to cooperate. She was told to have everything go through the lawyers, which is hopefully what anyone would do. And of course, when she was brought in by the police on the night of June 1st, she did cooperate with them.
Can I just cut to the chase here? Do you know where she is, and can you please tell us, or at least lead us in the right direction on it?
I don't know, but
And then we can worry about the other stuff later, because right now we need to find Jennifer.
Okay, I don't know.
Let me ask you a very simple question. What do you think happened to Jennifer Dulos?
What you've said, you guys. Okay, what I know, and I've seen in the newspaper that she got in the garage.
No. They're asking you for only your knowledge. Not what you read in the newspaper, not what you think
Well, I think that she's still somewhere, I hope, hiding. Pero bueno, you guys said that you find blood.
Police say Troconis' story changed in 3 separate interviews between June 2nd and August 13th, according to an arrest warrant application.
Being honest with you, I'm having a real hard time believing that you don't know what's going on here.
I didn't know what's going on, and up to now, I didn't see anything.
There's aspects of language barrier here. At various times, it's pretty clear she doesn't understand words that are being tossed at her. At one point, she did ask for a Spanish interpreter, and she wasn't given one.
The morning Jennifer Dulos goes missing, Troconis can't pin down Fotis Dulos' whereabouts, but explains how she ends up on surveillance video as Fotis Dulos dumps multiple trash bags.
Michelle told the police, without question, that Fotis that late at the afternoon asked if she wanted to go to Starbucks. She's texting. She notes that they've gone about a mile or so past the Starbucks, and he says, I just have to take care of something here. And she asks, what are we doing here? He says, oh, that's all right. I just have to get rid of a few items here. She's in the cab of the truck. She does not get out of that cab. And he takes a couple of black trash bags, puts them into a receptacle. She thought it was leftover cleaning supplies contractor mess from the house that had just been completed and was being shown the next day. So from that perspective, it did not seem that odd to her. But she told the police about it. She told them about it. It was not a secret.
Police also find what they describe as the alibi script at the couple's residence, a handwritten timeline.
She had been told by the divorce lawyer for Dulos that she and Fotis Dulos needed to keep track of where they were on the date of May 24th because they were going to be asked about that.
Police say the timelines are missing any mentions of trash being dumped in Hartford. As for the cleaning at the Mountain Spring Mansion and the Toyota Tacoma.
So this is property that you and Fotis have been on, but are you saying that you have no specific knowledge that Jennifer Dulos' body is in here? You don't know?
I mean, I can tell you where we ride motor, but I never saw Fotis.
Why would Fotis be washing the Tacoma, do you think, if you have any idea?
Obviously, all the evidence is because, and you showed me the picture of the blood in that door, it's because the body of Jennifer at some point was in there.
Shortly after their arrests on tampering charges, Michelle Troconis and Fotis Dulos are released on bond.
Michelle, where's Jennifer?
Fotis, what happened to Jennifer? What were you doing in Hartford dumping off all that trash?
By August of 2019, any hope of Jennifer being found alive has begun to fade. Police make a third arrest in the Jennifer Dulos investigation, and an emergency call will change the case forever. The evidence points to a tragic end for missing mom, Jennifer Dulos, who by all forensic accounts has been the victim of homicide and suffered an injury non-survivable without medical intervention.
It's kind of rare to see a case like this where truly it's a missing person case that evolved into a criminal investigation and, ultimately a murder investigation.
Fotis Dulos is facing charges of murder, felony murder, and kidnapping. And his girlfriend, Michelle Troconis, is facing a charge of conspiracy to commit murder.
They were piecing together the timeline. They were putting together who they believed was responsible for the violent assault on Jennifer Dulos.
On the morning of Jennifer's disappearance, police place another person at the Four Group's office between 7:29 a.m. and 8:22 a.m. Kent Mowini is a friend and attorney for Fotis Dulos. Court and phone records reveal Dulos makes a call to Mowini's phone as surveillance video captures him dumping trash bags around Hartford. According to a criminal complaint, police say Mowini changed his story to investigators about his whereabouts and communications on the day Jennifer goes missing.
He still claims that he fell down a flight of stairs, broke his phone, and has amnesia.
Arrest warrants also show Mowini's name appears on handwritten timelines. On January 7th, 2020, Kent Mowini is arrested.
He frankly and openly told the police he was making this statement so he could get out of jail. And at that point, while denying any liability on his own part, implicated Michelle and Fotis in a plan to do away with Jennifer Dulos. Doesn't know any details, claims he had nothing to do with it, claims that he talked Fotis Dulos out of it, and was surprised to find out that Jennifer had actually disappeared.
Major crime detectives were able to get enough evidence to effect the arrests of three following individuals. Fotis Dulos, who is charged with murder, felony murder, and kidnapping, with a court-set bond of $6 million. Michelle Troconis, charged with conspiracy to commit murder, with a court-set bond of $2 million. Kent Mowini, charged with conspiracy to commit murder, also with a court-set bond of $2 million.
Mowini pleaded not guilty. 2 days later, Fotis Dulos and Michelle Troconis are released from jail on bond. Dulos moves back into the Farmington, Connecticut mansion and on to a new girlfriend, Anna Curry.
There was actually a court hearing, and he was supposed to be there.
Just hours from potentially having his $6 million bond revoked on a violation order, EMTs and Farmington police received an emergency call. They rushed to Dulos' home to find him unconscious in his SUV.
I remember the helicopters started flying over the home, wondering what was going on, and all of a sudden, we hear that he is in cardiac arrest, that there is an issue with Fotis Dulos at his home in Connecticut.
Fotis Dulos was declared dead tonight at 5:32.
Fotis Dulos had taken his own life.
It was later found that Fotis Dulos had left a suicide note. And in that note, he said that he had nothing to do with the disappearance of his wife.
In the note, released by his attorney, Dulos wrote Michelle Troconis had nothing to do with Jennifer's disappearance. He also said, quote, "The state will not rest until I rot in jail." With Fotis Dulos gone, there are now 2 co-defendants left to answer for the presumed murder of Jennifer Dulos.
Michelle Troconis is now awaiting trial, and she has several charges, including conspiracy to commit murder. Her attorney continues to say that she knows nothing, that she was kept in the dark, that Fotis was the one that knew what was happening, and she just aimlessly sort of followed along with him, and that she's the fall person now that he is gone.
When someone is left holding the bag, it means that the person they want is gone, and there is the person standing there they didn't really want, but that's all they have right now.
I think everybody should realize, there's lots of victims in this case, and Jennifer's loved ones, her children, her family members, and they're all grieving.
Jennifer wanted to make everybody feel special. She wanted to make sure that the other people around her felt welcome and at home, and were they doing okay? She was the most incredible mom, and she loved her kids beyond compare. I mean, she was the most thoughtful friend you could have ever hoped to have. I'd want them to know that she was the kind of friend you'd get thrown out of a movie theater for laughing too loudly with. That's the kind of friend she was. There won't ever be any true justice for Jennifer because she's not here. We'd like to see the individuals responsible held accountable. I think in a larger sense, she's not here to see her kids grow up. And I think that's the biggest injustice of all.
No one's going to give up hope, and we'll continue searching to finding Jennifer's body so we can give some kind of closure to her family.